Secrets of the Great Wall, an Arin Cade adventure. In the heart of a bustling Beijing market, amidst the clamor of vendors and the scent of spices, Arin Cade's eyes were fixed on a single, unassuming object, a faded scroll, tucked away in an antique stall. The seller, a man with eyes as old as the stories he told, claimed it held the hidden blueprints of the Great Wall. Folklore, he called it. But Arin saw something more. As he carefully unrolled the brittle parchment, ancient symbols shimmered to life under the afternoon sun, forming a cryptic message. Where the dragon touches the mountain, the heart of China sleeps. The seller shrugged it off, but Arin felt that familiar, undeniable pull, the same thrill that had led him to every great discovery of his life. Without a second thought, he bought the scroll and boarded the next train heading north, the city's modern skyline fading behind him. The train ride gave way to rugged, untamed landscapes. Arin found himself at a remote, windswept section of the Great Wall, known only on old maps as the Dragon's Bend. Here, the wall snaked across the mountains like a colossal stone serpent. He began to climb, his boots finding purchase on steps worn smooth by centuries of wind and rain. The air was thin, and a haunting whistle echoed from a nearby watchtower, the sound almost forming words on the breeze. He pulled out the scroll, holding it against the ancient stonework, his breath caught. The markings on the parchment aligned perfectly with the patterns on the stones. His fingers traced a specific symbol, and as he pressed, a loose brick shifted under his touch. With a low groan, it gave way, revealing not solid stone, but a hidden mechanism of gears and levers. The ground trembled beneath him. A massive section of the wall rumbled, then slid sideways, revealing a dark, spiraling stairway descending into the earth. Arin lit his torch and began his descent into the unknown. He entered a long corridor, its walls lined with intricate bronze lanterns. As he took his first step forward, the nearest lantern flickered to life, casting a warm, steady glow without any visible flame. He walked on, and one by one, the lanterns ignited ahead of him, illuminating his path. Some kind of ancient tech, or just clever engineering, Arin whispered to himself, his voice swallowed by the silence. The walls of the tunnel were covered in stunningly detailed carvings. They told a story. Workers, their muscles straining as they hauled massive stones to build the wall. Fierce soldiers, standing shoulder to shoulder, defending their homeland from invaders. And scholars, their faces serene as they carefully hid precious scrolls within secret compartments. At the very end of the corridor, a massive stone door blocked his path, its surface covered in elaborate dragon motifs. Taking a deep breath, Arin placed his hands on the cool stone and pushed. The door swung inward, revealing a perfectly circular chamber. In the exact center stood a single, unadorned stone pedestal. The moment Arin stepped across the threshold, the room began to hum, a deep, resonant frequency that vibrated through the soles of his feet, like standing inside a giant tuning fork. Ancient voices began to echo around him, not in a frightening way, but calm, wise, and filled with a profound sense of history. He looked down at the scroll in his hand. It was glowing with an intense light, and the original text was shifting, rearranging itself into a new message. Knowledge is the shield of the kingdom. As the last word formed, a new pathway rumbled open behind the pedestal, beckoning him deeper into the heart of the mystery. He entered a long hall unlike anything he had ever seen. The floor, walls, and ceiling were covered in thousands of tiny stone tiles, each one meticulously carved with a unique symbol. It was a library of characters, a testament to a forgotten language. As Arin took a cautious step forward, a booming echo shook the entire room, and every single tile began to vibrate violently, creating a deafening clatter. He froze, realizing this was a trap, a trial. He glanced at the scroll again. A new phrase had appeared, its letters glowing brightly. Only speak what is true. His mind raced. searching for the answer. Then he remembered an old Chinese proverb his mentor had taught him years ago, a lesson about the power of honesty. He took a steadying breath and spoke the words aloud into the echoing chaos. Truth builds bridges. Instantly, the shaking stopped. The deafening noise ceased. A clear, safe path formed through the tiles, leading him forward. The path led him to another chamber, where a magnificent stone guardian stood watch. It was carved in the shape of a kiln, a mythical creature with the body of a stag, the scales of a fish, and a gentle dragon's head, a symbol of peace and harmony. As Arin approached, its stone eyes slowly opened, glowing with an inner light. The creature stirred, rising from its pedestal. It didn't move to attack, but simply watched him, its gaze ancient and discerning. Another line of text materialized on the scroll, its message simple yet profound. Strength alone is nothing without harmony. Arin understood. This wasn't a test of power, but of respect. He stopped, stood tall, and performed a deep, formal bow to the guardian. To his astonishment, the stone kiln mirrored the gesture, bowing its head in return. Then, with a silent, graceful movement, it stepped aside, revealing the entrance to the final chamber. Arin stepped through the archway and stopped dead, his jaw agape. He was standing in a vast, stunning underground hall. High above, faint cracks in the ceiling allowed golden sunlight to stream down, revealing that he was directly beneath the foundation of the Great Wall itself. The air was still and sacred. In the center of this magnificent chamber, there was no mountain of gold, no hoard of jewels. Instead, there lay a single beautiful chest crafted from jade and gold. He approached it with reverence and lifted the heavy lid. Inside, nestled on beds of silk, were not riches, but scrolls, hundreds of them. This was the true treasure, ancient knowledge. Documents detailing incredible feats of engineering, diplomatic treaties, advanced medical practices, and complex astronomical charts. It was the collected wisdom of an entire civilization, preserved by scholars during the wall's construction, hidden from the wars and chaos of the world above. Just as he was carefully examining a scroll on celestial navigation, the ground began to shake violently. Dust and small stones rained down from the ceiling. The mechanism must be ancient. Unstable? Arin realized with a jolt of panic. The entire chamber was threatening to collapse. He worked fast, grabbing as many of the priceless scrolls as he could and securing them inside his protective case. The rumbling grew louder, and deep cracks spiderwebbed across the walls. The tunnels were coming down. He had to get out. The beautiful bronze lanterns in the corridor flickered erratically, and then, one by one, died out, plunging the path behind him into darkness. He ran, sprinting back through the collapsing chambers. His heart pounded against his ribs. He raced through the Guardian's hall, giving the now still kiln a final grateful glance. He navigated the now treacherous wall of echoes, leaping over chasms that had opened in the floor. He burst back into the lantern corridor just as the great dragon-carved door behind him cracked in two and imploded under the immense pressure. Stones, some as large as his pack, fell like giant raindrops around him. He could see a sliver of daylight ahead the hidden doorway. With a final desperate burst of speed, he leaped through the opening, tumbling out onto the solid ground of the Great Wall, just as the secret entrance sealed itself shut with a deafening boom, vanishing forever. Panting, covered in dust, Arin sat atop the Great Wall, the crisp northern air filling his lungs. The sun was just beginning to rise, painting the sky in hues of orange and gold. He clutched the jade case tightly. It wasn't filled with gold or jewels, but with something far more precious, the lost wisdom of an ancient civilization. He watched the sunrise spread its light across the endless rolling mountains. This, he smiled to himself, is the kind of treasure worth protecting. As he carefully tucked the case into his pack, ready for the long journey back, The scroll in his pocket flared with light one last time. He pulled it out. A new message was etched across its surface, pointing the way forward. The journey continues. Far to the east, Arin grinned, a familiar spark of excitement in his eyes. Another adventure was already waiting. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Arin Cade adventures.